build or like you have a ship which is meant to, you keep it like that and part by part you go on changing it. After some time, you don't find any part of the ship, but you find a ship there. We call it some semblance of the old ship remains. But even if the whole ship has to be replaced, I think nothing wrong with it. We have not yet lost the whole ship. And maybe we'll lose it soon for the better. Because we have issues in almost every aspect of this great and simple tax, from the drafting of the law to its implementation to the adjudication process. So at any stage, if the taxpayer feels that it's not fair, he's not getting a fair deal. And as Mr. Vinod Kumar has so rightly said, today we are making such a big noise about fake invoices, RS and all that. These things were always there. And these things are still existing even in the income tax. But then why did this happen when it was supposed to be so technologically driven? Just now we have somebody in the chat saying, the law is made to suit technology, not vice versa, like technology should be adapted to suit the law. It's not happening. Suddenly, someday GST doesn't function and the fellow has to be arrested because you cannot allow me to pay tax. I'm accused of being an evader. This is certainly can't happen. It's really unfair. And as Mr. Vinod Kumar has rightly said, after 4 years, if you can't have a tribunal, which has been proposed in the law, well, it is because of some legal complications, yes. You put 2 or 3 officers in the tribunal and say that I don't want judges. Why do you want to avoid judges? Is it because you don't want a proper judgment? And if some Madras High Court has struck it down, you have ample time to correct it. You're not doing it. And cases are piling up. The moment the tribunals are opened, there'll be a mad rush. Actually, there is a mad rush to the high courts now, which shouldn't have happened. And our AAR has become a big joke. Everybody knows that. And today, the great anti-profiteering authority is not functioning. It's functioning with one member who's also acting as the chairman. They cannot take any decisions. So somewhere something has gone wrong and we are not identifying it. Well, I don't want to take much time. I know Sridhar likes to give more opportunity to our panelists than for the in-house ones.
No, sir, not true.
Anyway, we have invited them, so let's hear them. We have our so because I am supposed to be an intervener, I've intervened, but I would feel that we have lost the GST from day one. This was not what should have been done, and for the last 4 years, all our repair works have been faulty. Something has to be done. Maybe somebody has to sit together. I can't blame the politicians totally because the courts, give a lot of importance to legislative intent, what Parliament intended, what Parliament desired. But actually, what Parliament decided is what Mr. Vinod Kumar wrote. It's the bureaucracy that has made these laws, and they are the ones who are also creating the trouble to say that what I have written is not what I meant. So, and for all these fake invoices and arrests and all that hangama, the fact is you could have made it very simple in the sense, if you were talking about invoice matching even years before GST came into existence. But once it came into existence, you couldn't do it. If you can match all the invoices, where is the question of a fake invoice at all? And in these days of technology, it's not impossible. Even people like Amazon, those traders are doing wonderful work with their technology. Why can't the government do it? And why can't the government do it? I think I'll close with this. All these days, like Shailendra was saying, that GST is functioning very well. And we should all be proud of this GST today because the income tax e-filing site was working wonderfully well. Nobody had a problem. They closed it down for a week and brought in a new site. And today it is proved that GSTN is not the worst portal in the country. It is an income tax site. So we are far, far, far better, and things will be better.
Very cleanly they said no. It is very much allowed because once the raw material has gone into the process, so it is deemed to have been used. It is deemed to have been used for the manufacture and then finally for the intended for the business. So
more so because these kind of things only give a view that we are restricting IDC. I asked this question from that point of view only.
Yeah. So the point is, I think assessee should not worry about this moot point, this legal issue, but the assessee should be worried about one thing, that see, these same issue has been settled by even Honorable Supreme Court number of times, various high courts in the last 20-30 years. The Department of Circulars in excise time that process losses are allowed.
Supplementary manual is there.
So not only process losses, but transit losses are also allowed. Like in case of sand has flown during transit, or cement has flown, so that also is allowed. But so this litigation is not warranted, I believe. So I believe the government must appoint some legal officers in each jurisdiction, commissionerate, that any show cause notice, if somebody is issuing, it should be vetted by a legal officer, and then only it should be issued. That can save a lot of litigation. Otherwise, we can find such type of litigation every year.
I would now request one more.
One second.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Gurinder, do you think that Commissioner doesn't know this?
So that is what I said.
I would like Mr. Vinod Kumar also to comment on this. As he said, this is an issue which has been there for 30-35 years and decided very firmly that even if in storage you lose some of your inputs, and if it doesn't go into that machine manufacturing the output, you can't deny a credit. And what has been tested, do we reinvent the wheel for GST on all the issues that have been decided? Sir, what is your opinion on this? Why is it that I find commissioners to be perfectly a good gentleman with abundant knowledge, but when it comes to passing an adjudication order, they have to pass the order only in favor of revenue? Let it be anything. If you don't mind, sir, I would like to hear your comments.
I wouldn't make such a sweeping statement.
Goods were sent in an auto rickshaw. And when it reached the destination shop to which it had to be delivered was closed. So the auto rickshaw fellow took those goods to his home. The next day was a some holiday, and the next day was a Sunday. So for 2 days he kept the goods in his house. It's a bundle of papers or something like that. After 2 days, when he tried to take these goods to the consignee, the GST officer intercepted him on the way and seized his auto rickshaw and the goods, saying that the way bill is time barred or whatever it is. And when he tried to get it released, this officer who seized it went on leave for a week. After that, he authorized somebody else, his assistant, to release it on payment of some 69,000 rupees. And this case went to the High Court of Telangana, where they imposed the cost of 10,000 rupees on that officer. We can continue.
This 4-year-old baby GST would definitely turn out to be a pretty youngster who's capable of performing well in the times to come. Thank you so much.
Have you decided whether it's male or female?
I would prefer it to be called it a male only for the time being.
But still, you have to stop teasing it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It was nice to be with you.